This morning I finished up this accordion sketchbook art journal. So let me give you a little flip through of it. And my goal for this was just to chase down simple imagery, because that is where, like, that's the direction I want to take. So just exploring it. This was the most complicated just because it turned into something funny. Yeah, anyway. So I'll add a word here, I think. So it's this spread and this one is what I did this morning. Everything else was pretty much finished yesterday. I added like some little touches of things here and there today. This was a really vital exercise. It was just a way for me to kind of come in through a back door at drawing in a way that interests me, and kind of diving into imagery that excites me too. So that really just going after that folky, raw, kind of emotive aesthetic that I love, with lots of imperfection in the scribbles and the grunge and messiness. Yesterday, I think maybe when I was at a stopping point with this, I quickly grabbed some leftover copy paper that was in my blotting paper box, and I did the same thing as with this one. I added scribbles and color pencil scribbles throughout, and watercolor splodges. Because when I draw, I want something to respond to. And this morning I just very quickly and loosely stitched the pages together. So I'm going to just start carving in, drawing. That's my way to start drawing. It's very similar to, actually it's exactly like the last full video that I shared here on YouTube, where I was working on this painting. And I will try not to babble on and on, but I'll also try to let you know what is going on in my head as I'm working here. So you can't see me, but most times when I'm doing this, I'm squinting so that I can see the contrast and like where the marks and the color meet to form something that I recognize, and that will be different for everyone, you know, because we all have our own history of images, and everything about us influences what we see when we look in the paint. And I mean down to even the languages you speak. Language is such a huge part of how we experience the world, and so our cultures, our circumstances, it all helps us see and influences what we see. So, and then just the stuff that you like, the stuff that you're drawn to. So that's what I'm always like, I'm not necessarily conscious of it. It just, the more you do it, the more it becomes second nature, and you just start to see what you see. And there are always like multiple things that you can see too. It's not always just one direction you can take. oftentimes when I'm editing footage, I'm like, oh, I didn't see that. That would have been so cool. But with just a few little moves, I have drawn. Yeah, and this is the way I like to do it. And I really love kind of made up botanicals as well. So it's always fun just to play in the paint. Sometimes I have to remind myself of what I like, like what my creative aesthetic is. Because, maybe I have been looking at too much inspiring work, or or I haven't been in the studio enough, or I'm not feeling well. Like, you just kind of get lost and stuck, and you forget how you speak. And I think that is also important to keep a hold of, and so doing this has been really helpful for me. And it also will help me in some of my larger journals. Like, now I kind of have an idea of what I need to do to keep producing imagery that is inspiring and that exercises me toward the work that I want to paint, or not just paint, but create. It's a good habit to form, and coming at drawing in a way that is exciting to me, and not feeling like I have to do it any certain way. So there is our front and back. I really want to chase down what's happening here. So there's just this big gorgeous leaf reaching out here. I don't know if this is going to be something or not, but I do want to quiet down this area. Most often I will bring in order or sketch around with my off-white mixture here. Sometimes I'll use another color, like I showed you on the painting that used a favorite color, which is pink, but this is pretty much my go-to. I love the creamy look, and it's just a good base too, even if I do later on want to bring in another color. So I wonder, what if we make this its little cousin, or the other half, the other part of the arm, cousin, I don't know. Okay, now see, that is helping bring some shape in here. So I think this will be the main stem, though I really love this block of yellow, so I'm just going to leave it there. And as I'm carving around, I'm not trying to like completely conceal everything. And it's actually kind of nice that there is color pencil and watercolor, because sometimes the watercolor will react with the paint. So, and it'll, you know, do a little bit of mixing. Especially if I wet my brush and then like use a more fluid version of the matte acrylic. Trying to decide if I want to use any of this as like the top of this flower. Maybe we'll do something like this. Not really seeing much that I want to work with here right now, and I'm not going to force it, so I'll just leave it alone. I'm going to dry this. So I dried this, and then as I was drying it, I started to see the bird, and then after the bird I saw the little flower, so I did that. Yeah, sometimes just you need to take a beat and then you can see again. Sometimes it takes days or weeks to really get an idea what's there. Let's see. This one is super clear. It is a bird in flight. And again, I don't care about it being, you know, realistic or resolved or anything. I just want to chase down the imagery for right now. And, you know, I'm paying attention to what kinds of moves I'm drawn to make. Because there's a, you know, there's a million different little, I guess, like, for lack of a better word, like nuances. Like, why didn't I leave the beak super large? Why did I bring it down? So I'm just paying attention to what it is that I like. And now I can see, now that I've got that first bird down, I can see another one. So I'm going to let go of all of this over here, because I'm satisfied with just exploring this one, even though I do think like that could have easily become another little birdie. And then there's another yellow bit that I really like. I'm just enjoying like saving those on each area so far. There's been little, I think I actually did try on purpose, yeah, to bring yellow into every spread, so that makes sense that it's popping out at me. I like this big bush of red because I think it'll make an interesting like tail feather, even though this bird is kind of obscured. I think it helps. Yeah. Okay. And this is something that, like, when I come back later with more pencil or watercolor, you know, I can then bring the rest of the wing out and clean this up in here. But that's really only if I want to revisit this, because it doesn't have to be finished. Yay! Decided to come back to this page. So we were here. So I'm coming back because I do see like maybe a little figure that I can follow here. Just a very simple start to a figure. So there's the head, little ponytail, sleeves, and then torso, and then, you know, the rest can be added or not later. I almost painted out this lovely little pink spot here. That could be the top of this flower, like a little bloom, little bud. Sometimes I get going so fast that I don't see well. And I think here I would like this to be a face. Just using the green area here to start creating that. And then I like the wild hair, so yeah, it's a little profile of a face there. And I actually see an eye there too. So, oops, so I might leave both like that. Alright, so now we are going forward, and I'm going to turn it this way because there is a pretty little flower that I want to chase down here. think this area down here might be the little pot. So I'll, fill it in later. I love these these leaves that look like arms. Okay, yeah, so I will build that up later. For now, got a sweet little flower. And then here I see a person. Oh, maybe this is a big wing right here. Yes, I like that idea. And so maybe I'll bring back the scribbles back on top of the paint here and just suggest the other wing. So do that later. And wow, last page. I'm looking here, I'm not really, okay, well, but you know what? I guess I'm gonna be painting flowers for a while because they are all up in my business. So this is interesting. I'm seeing the same shape that I saw here. So, that's another way to pay attention to what you're drawn to. What are repeated, textures, colors, images, themes. Shapes, forms, words, all of those are clues about your creative language. Okay, time to dry, and then we'll do a flip through. It will be fun to work back into this over time, or most likely, knowing myself, I will probably sit down and just do another session like this and just add detail. So figure, face, flower in a pot, birds. And there is, in the red that's under here, there is a shadow of a larger bird. So I might put that in, and there's another, like a small one back there. Maybe I'll turn this yellow splodge into a bird. So there's still so much room to play. Come back and layer, yeah. really interested in this flower too. Okay, sorry, I went backwards. Okay, so another flower in a pot, I think, or maybe this is the rest of the stem. And then a figure with wings, maybe. I might take that out, who knows. I might simplify it, or maybe this is her hair. And then another, actually, kind of a, not on purpose, but just another version of that same shape. And I love this big chunky flower. And then like this one too, and that's a little pot. And I love that, how the design just fell in that spot. So you never know how your marks are gonna collide with the abstraction process. So, and I don't know how long this took. It wasn't long. So, and this is just like round 2. So, you know, a lot happened just by cutting, carving around, cutting in around the imagery. So hopefully this is encouraging to some of you who just needed a boost and something fun to try. All right, thanks for watching.